This is happiness, to be everything at once. Be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Mood Prep. My name is Dave Nixon, and we're going to kick on. We're going to move on from our conversations last week. Although I got a lot more feedback than usual from you guys, and I really appreciate it. It was nice to hear from you all that enjoyed last week, or really found that it resonated, that reached out. It's often a difficult conversation. I think it's something that we can avoid, but it's on every single one of our minds somewhere at certain times, especially. And I mean, I actually haven't probably done a whole lot of podcasting on suicide and that sort of stuff. Maybe that's something that I can, I mean, I wrote an article a little while ago. If you actually search it on Google, it'll come up as an open letter to every husband, brother, and son. And I might do something on that. But for now, I'm going to talk about trying. Trying. This is an interesting one. One of the things I've really considered recently was this idea of like, stop fucking trying and stop trying so hard, stop trying to do stuff, you know, and when we stop trying, we start doing. It's sort of almost cliche, but it's really fucking true. And this is when people like, I might come across a bit of an arsehole to some people sometimes. No, really? But when people are like, oh, you know, she's trying to lose weight, I'm like, well, if she stopped trying, she might do it. People's faces. It's like I'm trying to be a little bit abrasive. I'm trying to do that and shock the system a little bit to get a different perspective. Like, it's not a matter of just going, oh, it's really nice, you know, hopefully, you know, if she keeps trying, she'll get it. It's like, actually, it's when we stop trying, it's when we commit. Now, it sounds kind of easy. It sounds kind of hard to really grasp at sometimes, and I get that, right? Because people try, and they really try to be a better person, to do all these sorts of things, but it's when we stop trying, because trying has this sort of element of fallback, like, well, I tried. It's like, well, I committed. Doesn't really have the same kind of fallback. And if we don't think language matters, then we're completely being ignorant to exactly what does matter. Our language is how we label our world. It's how we literally filter the way that we view reality in front of us. In many different ways. And it's not just from this positive or negative talking or mindset or whatever. And here's another, you know, idea for you is stop fucking talking around mindset. Like, I try to avoid it. If I use the word mindset, I use it in a space where I know people are colloquially going to understand what I'm saying. Like, use it as that kind of term. But otherwise, it's like, don't set your mind. Your mind should be fluid. It shouldn't be set. Right? Positive mindset. It's like, well, positive mindset actually presupposes there's negative shit. But the things that are negative often teach us more. So therefore, are they really negative? Right? Or if it's negative, you're thinking that it should have been positive when really maybe that's what you wanted. So that is positive. It's like, get rid of that stuff. Get rid of that idea. It just exactly is what the fuck it is. We're not smarter than reality. And this is where we just be able to see things for what they are, not for what we see them as. And that's a really big difference, right? See it for what it is, not for what we label it as. And so our language is crucial in this space. So when we continue to keep trying, it's like, when are you going to stop trying and just fucking do? And there's a shift. There's a shift in the head. There's a shift in the mind. There's a shift in the body when that occurs. And people go, I don't know, it just feels different, right? Because you got the fuck out of your head. You stopped trying. You moved into your body and you backed yourself. And this is where you see proper transformation, right? Take that word. Trans means to move, form. It moves form, and then ation is the process thereof, like hibernation, right? Motivation. Ation is that whole process. So we look at this and we go, the ability to move form and the process thereof of how we think, how we feel, and how we trust ourselves literally creates a completely different reality, right? And this is why when we just give people diets and exercise programs, all that's changing is people's bank accounts. Because people still think the same. They still have the same sort of, you know, ideas about their past, their self-worth, all of this stuff, because nothing is really in that sort of superficial space. And I say superficial as in like, it's closer to the surface as opposed to looking at the deeper things that might be more painful, right? So being in that superficial space, nothing really changes long term because we're not addressing the issues that actually created the issue, And that's a big thing. We're not addressing the issues that created the issue. And so often what we're trying to do is we're trying to fix the symptom. And this is the same thing. It's like we're not in an obesity epidemic. There is not an obesity epidemic happening in this world. Okay? And even the fact that in the Western world, like, you understand that we're in a surplus. Like, for the first time, probably, well, not first time, but this last 50 years, more people are dying from obesity than starvation in the world. Like, the food isn't the issue. It's the way we think. It's the way we see, right? So the obesity is a symptom because we're not in an obesity epidemic. We're in a misinformation mass marketing epidemic. And so what we're going to look at that is the antidote to that is education. But that's got to be self-education. We can't just be shoving things down people's throats. And this is a really challenging issue for a lot of people. They're like, how do you change people? It's like, well, you fucking don't. You change you because your need to change someone probably needs to change, which actually that change in you might actually start inspire change in them. That's the thing. And it's not about not caring for them, but the thing about being helpful is sometimes you're not fucking helpful, right? Trying to help them, trying to be over responsible for their behaviors, their thoughts. How do you not know? How do you know, rather, that what you're meant to be, that what you think is best for them is actually best for them? How do you know that what they're going through isn't what they need to be able to transform and become a better human being, to be able to go through enough pain to go, fuck this, I'm not taking this anymore? You don't know. It's the whole quote, and I've said it so many times before. Please let me help save you or you'll drown, said the monkey to the fish, putting it up a tree, right? It's like the monkey thinks it knows best for the fish, but it's going to kill the fish. Right? It's going to be a slow, painful death. It's that kind of idea of us going out and helping too many people. It's like, whenever you feel the need to help someone else, the first thing, and this is going to be a difficult thing for a lot of people, it's because they've got big hearts, but you got to look at, are you helping someone or are you asking for a transaction? Do you expect them helping you in return? Because that's not helping them. That's a transaction, right? So in this circumstance, when we go out and notice that we're wanting to help someone, ask yourself, is there a space in my life that I'm being under-responsible, right? Is my house clean? Are my bills paid? Right? Am I going out and doing the things, the advice that I'm giving, am I doing that? Like, these are the things, because it's no one else's job to help save us, to help develop us. That's our job. That's our roles. So when we're going out there and trying to save other people, it's like we're the ones that are probably fucking drowning. We need to save ourselves, but we're trying to save someone else in the face of hoping that someone will come and save us. It's not happening. And if you do save someone, you kind of fucking probably took their win, right? You took their win. Don't take people's wins. And you got to go and own yours. Because if you take people's wins, you're going to take the fucking losses, right? And then they go, oh, I'm an empath. No, you're a fucking idiot. Because you're too busy trying to save everyone else, hoping that someone's going to come and save you. That's your fucking job. You didn't do your one fucking job. You had one job, right? And it's just seeing it for what that is. Because now you become a role model, right? And this is when you stop trying to help everyone and you just fucking help yourself, right? It goes back to the exact same thing at the start of the podcast of trying. It's like, don't try and sound smart. Don't try and help people. Don't try and lose weight. Don't try and get a job, right? Rock the fuck up as you are today and develop that person, right? And this is interesting. And I had this conversation recently with someone really close to me. And he's a great trainer. And, I speak to multitude of trainers and coaches every single week. And the whole idea, I'm like, mate, you can't think smarter than what you already are. So just rock up as you are. If you're sitting there and you're having a conversation and you're thinking, oh, what can I say to be funny? What can I say to be smart? What can I say that'll make this person impressed? And like, you're no longer rocking up. They're all thoughts that are rocking up. You're not listening. You're not giving this person the time of day, the respect that they probably deserve to be able to hear you and to be able to, for them to be able to be heard. So just back yourself. Trust yourself. It's not that easy, Dave. I know. It's called work. That's why you haven't done it yet. I'm out. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you found this podcast beneficial, that'll mean the world to me. If you would pass it on and pass it on to someone else that you think would also find it beneficial. If you haven't already, jump on Mood Prep Online. I'm about to drop this bi-monthly book of the month, book club. You get it. Either way, just search on Facebook. That's it. I'm out. Until next time, guys. Peace and pizza. Kick today in the dick. Slay the dragon. I'll see you soon.
Be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.